So Bungie just made the highest DPS hunter build 100 times stronger. Now what's good, my familia? It's your boy Ike Water. White Water is everything. I'm back with a Destiny 2 video, man. Like I said in the beginning, we got an arc build for you guys that is 100 times better than it was before. You get your super in about 45 seconds. I'm telling you, it's crazy. If you guys like this type of video, man, please leave a like, subscribe. It's your boy Everything Water. Let's get straight into the video. Now, going with our super, we're going to be using Gathering Storms. Gathering Storms has always been an overpowered DPS heavy super. Even before the Season of the Deep, the Gathering Storm was probably the number one DPS for hunters, and now it's 100 times better. With the Season of Deep, everything is arc and strand, but mostly arc. You get so much buffs. With this build, you're going to be doing a lot of meleeing. You're going to be getting your super in under 45 seconds, literally. There's going to be a situation where I got my super 3 times at one boss. You're constantly going to be punching things, constantly going to be creating orbs, constantly going to be healing, all the other stuff, all the 9 yards. This build is very, very good for any content you want to do. DPS, you can gain health. You can do all of that. This build is the pinnacle when it comes to DPS. With the Night Shark that has been buffed, which is, I believe that you can go 1 and 2 with both of them. But yeah, let's get straight into the aspects, the abilities, and the fragments. Now for our abilities, we're going to be using Gambler's Dodge for our dodge. Gambler's Dodge recharges your melee ability, and this is very important because this is where 90% of your damage is going to be going to in the beginning before you even get your super. You're going to be doing this all the time, spamming this. The jump, you're doing triple jump. It doesn't really matter. You can do whatever jump you want to. For grenades, I like using pulse grenades. We're gonna get into the artifacts, but with certain artifacts, which I'm not level 10 yet, I'm not having maxed out my artifact yet, so I do not have any of the crazy grenade joltings right now. And then going to our aspects, we're gonna be using lethal current. After dodging, your next melee tech has an increased lunge range, jolts the targets, and creates a damaging aftershock. Damaging any jointed targets with melee attacks also blinds them. This is very important because, like I said, even in endgame content, if you're able to hit somebody with your melee, joint them or kill them, anybody in around that vicinity gets blind, which is so important. With that, the blind is really good. For another aspect, we're going to be using flow state. Defeating a joint target makes you amplified. While you are amplified, you dodge recharges more quickly, you are more resilient while dodging, and your reload speed is greatly increased. This is the most important thing because with the new Season of the Deep, amplified increases your super damage. It does everything you need it to do. It's 10 times better than it was before, right? So now going into our fragments, we're going to be using Spark of Ions. Defeating a joint target creates ionic trace, which is important. Again, you want to be able to, this whole build is going off of jointing, blinding, gathering orbs, all that. So for our next fragment, we're going to use Spark of Discharge. Arc weapons, final blows have a chance to create an ionic trace. So for one of the arc weapons I'm using is the Aikillo's not shotgun, the Aikillo's SMG with Void Shot. We're going to discuss that more when we get into the weapon and armors. Another one we have is Spark of Feedback. Taking melee damage briefly increases your outgoing melee damage. You're going to be up close and personal with every enemy you encounter in any content. So having them hit you, and then using your melee increases the damage. And then for our last one, we use Spark of Amplitude. Rapidly defeating targets while you are amped creates an orb of power. This is another good fragment for anything right now because you're already going to create even more orbs. So having this makes you have infinite super, literally, you know. So these are the most important fragments. Now we're going to get into our weapons and armor and mods. Now starting off, I like to use the new shotgun until it returns. This shotgun to me is very, very important. It's just I feel like it's just really, really good now. This shotgun to me is probably my favorite shotgun, probably one of the best shotguns in the game. You can craft this in the helm when you go to the Season of the Deep side. You can craft this weapon. So if you can craft it. This is a very, very, very good shotgun. A really, really good shotgun. For me, when I'm using, if you're doing solo, I don't say use these perks, but I like using Overflow and Trench Barrel. Trench Barrel increases your damage after a melee hit, which isn't crazy. Overflow, any special or heavy ammo you pick up, what's it called? Any special or heavy ammo you pick up, you get it overflows the magazine, which is ridiculous. Like like you can have a shotgun with 14, 11 in your ammo, like before you even run out. So by picking up a special ammo and combine it with Trench Barrel, so imagine you after a successful melee hit, which you're gonna be doing 90% of the time, boom, overflow, you get 14 straight mags, and then you hit a melee hit. Now your damage is increased by 50%, which is ridiculous. You do crazy damage with this shotgun. Get this shotgun. I'm using the Ikilos SMG. It has voice shot, and anything with voice shot that you have, use it for this build. Excuse me, because you want to be able to chain and joint as much targets as possible. I'm using Tractor Cannon. Gives me a 30% debuff for the enemy, so it basically gives me like a 30% buff for damage. It weakens the enemy, so now your arc staff is already doing a crazy damage. I'm using for armor, I'm using the Star Eater scales. Obviously, you can use, if you want to use harder content, you can use Liar's Handshake or that headpiece. I forgot what it's called. You can use all of that, but Star Eater scales is my main go-to. I like this personally, and then we're gonna go straight into the mods. Now for the mods, you for your head mods, you're gonna be using hands-on for 3 of them. Then arc, then you're gonna be using rapid arc, final blows, creates overpower. Because obviously, if you don't have your melee going, you can also have, because you have voice shots for the SMG, the Ikilos, you can create a lot of joints, get orbs from that. For my arms, I'm gonna be using Focus and Strike. I have 2 of these, and I'm gonna be using Heavy Handed. So your power, so a powerful melee final blow creates orb of power. Then I have grants, and then Focus and Strike has grants class ability energy when you cause damage with a melee attack. Right, and then for your chest piece, you can go whatever you want. I normally go for front of endurance, which overpower grants me I'll be a 30% increase in resilience. Arc of resistance, you can, whatever you use for your chest, whatever, depending on the content. If there's like, if it's solar, arc, void, you can use that. I'm using arc just cause. And then for your legs and your cloak is very important. For my legs, you can switch out for any of these. I'm using recuperation, replenishes health each time you pick up an orb of power, which is important because you're going to be in end game content or in any content. You melee somebody, you collect the orb, boom, your health replenish. I'm also using absolutions, so reduces all ability cooldown each time you pick up an orb of power, which is very important too. Then I'm also using insulation, which is reduces class ability cooldown each time you pick up orb of power. So this is just anything that just reduces the cooldown for all your main abilities are important. They're gonna come back fast. You get your super incredibly fast, and this is right here a new added mod, powerful attraction. Automatically collect nearby orbs of power when you activate a class ability. So while you're doing your dodge, you're gonna get all those orbs, and that's just like I said, you're gonna get hit. Any orbs around the area, you're gonna get it. Important. I'm also using distribution, reduces all abilities cooldown while using your class ability near targets. Again, you're gonna be dodging against a lot of enemies. Boom, you're gonna reduce your damage like that. I mean, reduce your class ability like that. Reduce, and then I'm using bomber. Reduces grenade cooldown while you're using your class ability. These are all very important too. But yeah, that's really it for this build. I almost forgot. Let's go off the artifacts. Now, this is also important. Now, you want to make sure you have, if you have on like level, if you get it past, if you got this whole thing ranked out, have it as how I have it so far. I'm not fully ranked yet. I'm almost like max rank for the artifacts. So I'm using anything that has to do with melee mods. I can get lower for that, and arc. Then I'm also using electric armor. Stay amplified longer while your arc subclass is equipped. This is important as long as you are amplified. Again, this right here, thunderous retort grants arc super damage if you cast while critically wounded or while amplified. Important again, amplified. You want to be amplified as much as possible when you have your super. Damage is ridiculous. Again, damage is ridiculous. Then I'm also using amped up. gain damage resistance while amplified. Again, in any end game content, any content, you want to be able to be resilient from damage. You want to be able to reduce as much damage as possible or take as much damage as possible before you die. And you're going to be replenishing your health while you're amplifying all this stuff, doing melee. So you're going to be up close and personal. That's the only downside of this build. You're going to be very up close and personal, so you're going to be taking a lot more damage. So be able to have a resilience is important. If you have this all the way, I recommend getting it to, if you have your artifacts all the way, I recommend getting obviously Lightning Strike twice. You can have Shock and Awe, Arc Final Blows while you amplify summons a burst of lightning damage and joins target. All of this is important. But yeah, if you guys like this type of video, man, please leave a like and subscribe. It's your boy Everything Water, and water is everything. I do got some more builds coming for y'all these next couple of days. Yeah, I'm gonna show a little bit of clip for me just doing crazy damage. Yeah, if you guys like this type of video, again, please leave a like and subscribe. Thank you for 100 subscribers. It's your boy Everything Water. We out.